Hello everyone, good morning. Russell Wright, networkempire.com. I'm on with my good friend and business partner Matt Cruz all the way from South Africa. I'd like to welcome you to week 7 of the Tech Foundation Swallow Your Market Whole Level 1 training course. And I can see that everybody's here and that excites me. Give me a 1 if you can see Matt's screen. He's going to be doing this screen share today. And I just want to make sure that everybody can see properly. Okay, first of all, can I see properly? Okay, there you go. Looks like we have most of you here. Great. And hello, Daniel. It's good to see you. And Chris is here. Brian, Bradley, Kevin, we're taking roll call here. Michael, Joseph, Chris, and Guy is here. Okay, that's pretty much everybody. Good to see you too, Joseph. All right, so it looks like we have a lurker, the infamous Kevin Pauly, semantic master of the universe, is also here. And nice to meet you too. Tani, I would like to welcome you. I don't recognize you from, Matt, has Tani been here in previous, or is this a new person?
Yes,
He's been in there.
he's
Okay.
a new guy that's just started up with us. Yeah.
Okay, and Kevin's asking me, does week 6 have a review of last week? Yeah, I think we have a review. Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Kevin.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's the recording from last week.
Oh, yeah. And that's what you were asking me too about. Why is everybody asking me this? Does that mean it didn't get uploaded to the members area, or what's the deal?
Yeah, that's not up yet.
Oh. Well, geez. So, guys, yes, there is a replay of last week, and I promise that either by the end of today's webinar or immediately after, I will make sure that everybody gets that. We have been, as you guys noticed, we've been doing an overhaul of the inside of the members area, and including, I've got almost 20 hours of personal log time just in week 2 alone, including consulting with each of you individually. Wanted to make sure that you understand the whole painkiller to vitamin, and you guys have done really, really well. Oh, yeah, Bradley really liked that update, Matt. So that's good. And yeah, Matt's been working really hard. Yeah, Matt's been working really hard. We've all been working really hard. It's going to be amazing. And as you guys know, I wanted to make this clear because Matt mentioned this morning that someone had contacted him. You will never have to sign up for this course again. Everybody give me a 1 if you understand that, and a 2 if you don't understand that. Give me a 1 if you understand. You will never have to sign up for. That means that forever, as both our software and training get better, that you will always have access to this. Just want to let you know where we were this weekend. Where I was this weekend was in Los Angeles, hiring another Google-level programmer to help us update Matt's already excellent DWS NE Silo Builder, Pain Finder, integrating it with the last keyword tool. Stuff that when we look back, again, sometimes I hesitate to talk too much about the future because I want us to appreciate what we have now. But what is coming, which will of course be integrated in this course in the future, is all the software integration to the tune of 5 and 6 figures. It's costing us to integrate that. And you guys are the first, like your names I will be recognizing for the next couple of years. So just remember that we're long-term market domination and empire building with all of you. And we very much appreciate you being a part of this course in the early stages, and it's getting better and better. And with that, I'm going to step aside today. We are going to, actually, I'll be working with Matt today. We're going to be talking about the stuff that Matt has done. Matt has been busting his bum getting all the Kraken vertical market online drills done for everybody. As you know, we do it for you the first time, and that's all part of the phases here. And additionally, we're going to be talking about, drum roll, 1 feed to rule them all. Now I'm going to let Matt go through this whole process. Let Matt go through this whole process. As you guys know, the 1 feed to rule them all system is something that I invented with Matt and Sue. Probably the brainchild behind it originally was myself, and then we enhanced it to incorporate it into the software applications. As a result, you guys should not leave this room today without asking everything that you were afraid to know about 1 feed integration, but were afraid to ask, or didn't have the time to ask, or obviously could not ask on the help desk. It's kind of amusing to try to answer help desk questions on the 1 feed because it's not really possible. It's something that has to be trained. And as you know, we have the WP social explosion, software that is actually blowing my mind, and it'll be ready for the soft launch. We're going to let you guys know first about what that's about. And all of this is connected either directly or indirectly to the OneFeed stuff that Matt's going to be showing you today. Now, I will say that Matt does have a delay sometimes. We are fixing this problem and in South Africa. And if there's a delay, just give me a ping. I'll be answering questions as he goes through the process map of the OneFeed, and I'll answer the questions as best I can. If for some reason we lose Matt, I'll take over and continue asking questions until he logs back on. And thank you, guys, and we're going to jump right in. Thanks, Matt.
Great, thanks a lot, Russell. So guys, yeah, I've been working really hard to get some really solid stuff to make what we've learned over the last few weeks really crystallize with you. Some of you have gotten the reports I've generated, and the other guys, your reports are on the way. You'll get them today and tomorrow. That includes all the Kraken drills. And I'd like to just maybe speak through one or two of them just to explain it to you guys. But before we look at that, let's just take a look at this process map. Can you guys give me a 1 if you all can see it clearly, or must I zoom in? Okay, brilliant. Right, so if you look at our journey, we've basically gone through week 1, defined our market, week 2, found the pain in the market, found the solutions we needed to modify our product offering as to be the best match for that. Then from there, we went to week 3 where we did all the Kraken drills and started analyzing the market. Week 4, we should have been building out our website, okay, and adding our content, our painkiller videos and content. Right, the week 5, we basically start adding the silos. So from week 3, 4, and 5 up to week 6, you basically just add a silo today, and that works out to 1 silo a day. But I know that quite a few of you guys have gotten a bit behind. Don't stress about that. I've done all the drills for all you guys. I've got 3 more to go, then they're all done. But I've created a report that really shows you a top-level overview of what's lying inside Kraken. So you don't have to get stuck or scared. You've got your roadmap now, a visual blueprint. I was wondering if we could share some of your guys' projects and just show what we've done. The projects we can look at is Bradley's, Daniel's, AJ's, or John's. Guys, could you give me a 1 if you don't mind just sharing that visual I sent through to you or not? Okay, cool. Brilliant. Everyone said 1. So let's just look at each one because I want to give you guys a quick overview of what Kraken does and how powerful it is. So if we look at this here, we can see we've got the primary keywords, which is the tree service industry. There's one in German for Daniel. That's more for like being a web agent or web agency. Okay. AJ's got oil cleanup, and then John's dealing in real estate, Nashville real estate. So we've got 4 different sectors or markets that we can actually look at very quickly. And the reason why I want to show you this first is because when we come to the OneFeed process, the OneFeed setup, when we're mapping and building our silo structure, our architecture, we always got to think about how we're going to be communicating with the market personality at all the times. And when we design our silo architecture, we have to be aware of the conversations we're going to actually enter into, and we have to make sure that there's the congruency between our product, our business, and what the market personality actually wants. It must satisfy their pain. So once we map out these technical anchors, right, that we get back from Kraken and then flush them out with TLKT, we then set up our blog. And this is where we basically set up our blog. We're going to connect up the OneFeed system, and that's when we start writing our first blog post. Okay. So how many of you guys have got your sites actually built yet? Could you just give me a 1, please, just so I can see where we're at? And this actually gets different. How many of you guys are at the site build stage? We've actually built your site. Can you give me 1? Right, so how many of you guys are still at the market analysis stage? So partially built. So yeah, you guys are getting on. Okay, cool. So most of you guys are at the market analysis stage. Right. Okay, so let's jump back there. I have a quick look at that. I want to spend 5 minutes on this report, and then I'd like to hop over to Russell so he can just give you guys a top-level overview of what the OneFeed really is. Because the technical implementation is very simple. We'll look at that next. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into this report of, let's just jump into Brad's ones quickly. We can have a look at this. when you look at this report, can you guys give me a 1 if you can all see it, or must I zoom in? 2 if I must zoom in. Okay, cool. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so when we start off, what are we selling? Then we had to map the solutions to the pane. Then we had our themes, keywords, and competitors. What are we actually dealing with? What's the market? What's going on in the online market, okay? Then we basically map out and build out a framework. That's the IT part of the build. Then we design the silo framework, and then we publish it, and then from the publishing, that's when we do the one feed. So at this stage here, when I drilled into all the keywords in Kraken, this project is about 3 services. And what this report shows you when you get it, it shows you the stack of the actual words used in each of the themes, okay? So under 3 services, essentially what we got here is all the themes that are important that we found underneath 3 services. So there's actually 8 themes that we found back in the process of teaching you to manually drill into Kraken, okay? Then under each of those ones, we have a subset of keywords which vary all the time as well. And those are keywords that we discovered within that service, okay? So when you look at this report, tree service is the parent, tree service, tree trimming, lawn care services, lawn service, tree removal cost, fruit trees, lawn trees. These are all important conversations or themes within tree service, right? Then underneath the category, lawn service, we have the supporting articles or the smaller themes that are part of lawn service. We've got Scott's lawn care, Scott's lawn service, lawn care services, lawn services. And what we can see here is we can start seeing the actual patterns of who are competitors that are actually branding themselves. We can see what are the words the guys use in the conversation. And these words that are brought back are the words that got the highest cost per click, the highest search volume, and the highest TSMV. Okay, so what it does, all these keywords we drill into, this view that you're getting basically shows you from a top level down how the conversation is all spread out and where you can actually engage. So when you come to Kraken, all you got to do is go look for lawn service and you'll find all those keywords within the top 20 keywords. They're all ranked, filtered, and sorted. So you don't actually think about it. You can just go look at those ones that are relevant and you can drill in them deeper. Or you can actually just take the CSV file that comes with the email I sent through to you, and you can just pull them straight into DWS and start working with them. Okay. On the right here, we've got the most common terms that are used, the words that have been seen the most throughout the whole report. Okay. So we've got tree removal, and there was 10 important themes there. Under tree trimming, we had 8 important themes. We get different results back for every time we drill into a different keyword. Okay, and then when we look at that whole data set, these are the words that are the most important, or not most important, but appear the most. So tree trimming, tree removal service, lawn care services, tree care, and David Tree. Now David Tree is a big national company in America that focuses on dealing with trees. Then what we got here are the top 10 most used synonyms. Okay, so when you get your data set report, go into Kraken, map out what you want, build your blueprint, export out that XML, push it into your blog, get your primary blog up live. Then, once your blog's up live and you've filled in all your content, if you applied the IT build that I told you about last week, you can just clone that site, map it across, and then you can prepare to start setting up your one feed. Okay? Now, from a technical point of view, the one feed is very, very simple to set up, okay? You need one YouTube account, which is your primary account. You need a WR and primary blog. You can use Yahoo Pipes or YouTube, Twitter feed, OnlyWire, and then Snap. Those are the only things you actually need to set up, and you set them up once per WR1 framework, okay? So for the framework, you set up your one feed first. So what happens is that you basically take your primary blogs feed and your YouTube feed. You can take the 2 URLs there and you push them through Yahoo Pipes, and you can actually merge them together. Then from Yahoo Pipes, we can push them to Twitter feed or OnlyWire, and then whenever we do a blog post out of the blog, that post will get syndicated to our social networks we have set up. It'll go to Facebook, it'll go to Twitter, and if you're working with LinkedIn, it can go into LinkedIn as well. It depends on your business, okay? And what the result of this is traffic and backlinks that come back to the page that you actually posted from, okay, or that you just submitted. The backlink on that page then can link to your primary site, or it can link to any other offering that you've got, okay? But that's generally what the one feed is. The setup is very, very simple, and what we're teaching you in this one is the beginner's version of the one feed. There's a much more advanced version with more connections, but we don't want to get you guys into that right now. We want you to actually just understand this simple process of what it does and how it works, and then how Snap takes that post and pushes it to Pinterest and to Google+. Okay. So the effect of this is every time you promote through your blog, that's why we call it the broadcasting engine. That posts all the way out across the web, it posts upstream, people find the content, and then they come back downstream towards your blog and down into your WR1. Okay. So can you guys give me a one if you sort of understand that concept?
Looks like you did a really good job, Matt. Can you hear me, Matt?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so it looks like you did a really good job. I'm going to go ahead and Guy was a little bit unclear on the earlier thing that you showed us, which thing was a silo, but we can come back around to that. Guy, I understand. Adam is asking, can we get into the more advanced connections later on? Let me just get into a little bit about the one feed, Matt. I'll just take over from here for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
And we'll, because you've done a brilliant job of creating this graphic. And just one question somebody asked is, that chart that you showed before where you were getting into the lawn stuff, what was that application again that you were showing everybody on? Is that the network, the Empire Builder, or?
That is just one of the back office tools we use to manage all your projects, and that's where we archive all the collated data, so we can actually give it to you guys packaged.
Yeah, and so you guys know that that's only available to you. So the reason that some of you were confused because you don't log in and see Network Empire, you're actually part of our back-end office. We're using some of this stuff to generate tens of thousands of dollars per month with high-end clients that we have, okay? In other words, we're using this one feed system right now. I'm not going to tell you all the industries we're in. We have a completely different model that we use that's not our public or front-facing model. Okay, so these are the types of things that we use, and you guys have access when we're organizing your stuff. You're seeing stuff that you're not going to see when you just log into Network Empire. Just give me a 1 to make sure that everybody understands that that's not part of the regular, what Matt's showing you is not part of the DWS AnyBuilder. I'm not trying to just I'm not trying to just tease you with the value, but I want to make sure that you know that some of the things that Matt's showing you is part of his back-end office arsenal. This is what Matt does for us incredibly well, is build dangerous stuff, and the front-forward stuff is not always there. Okay, so let's get into the one feed to rule them all. Can you give me a 1 if you would like me to go further into the one feed, the history of the one feed, the practical aspects of the one feed, and oh wow, okay, you're not even letting me finish. All right, apparently that's an important thing. Okay, so let me just give it to you in a nutshell. We've got this chart here. We've given you the beginnings, and Matt's done a brilliant job of laying out this particular process map. The only thing I want you to understand, let's make it dead simple, okay, is that our vision is for you, when we say broadcast, we're talking about once the first part in this Tech Foundation Level 1 training course is accomplished, which is your silo website. That's your brochure site, your video website, silo architecture, your persuasion architecture. You've got a position on the market with your WR1. Okay, these are pages that never change necessarily, or don't change that often. They don't change like a post, right? The sites that you're building that are your WR1, those are your sales sites, okay? But you also need a broadcasting site. Is everybody here clear on the difference between, I know this is a silly question, but I just have to ask, okay, because we're in week 7. AJ, you didn't even know that's math, dude. Stop it. Stop wanting without finishing my sentence. Is everybody excuse me, guys. Is everybody clear on the difference between a website and a blog roll and a blog? I know the confusion. Give me a 1 if you're clear, 2 if you're not so clear. I don't want to see a single 2, otherwise I'll stop. Clear. Guy? Okay, Guy's clear. Awesome. All right. Then, since we're clear, I won't beat that dead horse. The blog broadcasting, what makes WordPress so awesome is that you can broadcast. When I'm saying the word broadcast, I'm saying depending upon what your internal content schedule is, whether you're using DWS, any silo builder to schedule, Pro to schedule your processes, whether you've just got your own internal process map, for your own content. I know some of you, like Guy, are one-man bands. They have really expensive products and do really well with them, but he doesn't have time to broadcast every single day or every 20 minutes or like at least every 2 days like we do or whatever, because he's a one-man show and he can only do it once a month. Once a week or maybe once a month even, or hopefully it's more than that guy. But my point here is that that's content that needs to go out there every 2 times a week. Great, good to hear. That needs to go out there, and regardless of what your schedule is, when WordPress creates a post, that's automatically added to your feed. And if you create a page in WordPress, there's a plugin you can add which will give you, that'll actually also add a page to your feed. I don't know why WordPress has not yet given you the option to add a page to your feed, but they haven't. So the point is that and you can ask Matt or Sue or anybody in our company about this, whenever anybody in any service anywhere on anything that you're ever using creates an RSS feed, what they're really telling you is that they're creating an XML. In other words, an automatic way for you to publish, syndicate, ping, and or broadcast is another way you can look at it, the information that's going on that post to any other place on the web that has a female end, that accepts XML in. Give me a 1 if you understand the concept of male versus female end. You guys get that? That's not hard, right? But it actually is kind of hard because part of the reason is that people don't really understand XML. XML is kind of like, gibberish. It's technobabble, right? But you guys, I don't know how many of you know this, but an RSS feed is simply an XML file. Hey, Matt, do me a favor. I'm going to go ahead and just geek out a little bit. Go to, look up XML and go to Wikipedia for XML. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this for you guys. And let me just go ahead, guys. That always asks excellent questions. Let me see what he's saying. How does the female end that receives XMLs know how to hook up with the information flow? It's technical. That's why we call it the technical foundation course.
A simple way to think about it, Russ, I'm going to interject.
Okay.
XML is like a universal language for computers or,
right.
or systems and languages. Right. It's the bridge between PHP and another language. It's a bridge between your iPhone and the servers that actually send you your SMSs. That's essentially what it is.
Yes,
it's just a universal file format.
And it's really important. I want to stop with what Matt just said, because it really, at least right now, the web is moving on into HTML5. There are other things coming out, you guys, like Pub Subhub. Okay, say that 3 times fast, which Google is actually considering acquiring, because it's a little bit of a different technology that wastes a lot less energy than XML and RSS. But let's just stay away from that for a minute. We'll cover that in certification. But we wouldn't be covering this if there wasn't a huge amount of power in you knowing this. So that's why I'm slowing down, even though it seems like we're really geeking out with the whole female versus male. An RSS feed, anything that, when Matt creates DW any silo builder, when he created it and worked on it for 3 years, he had to actively create scripts and codes that once you guys added your content and once you did all your research and once you dragged around all those silos and once we created all the ability for you to choose a silo versus a category page and create that structure, it's kind of like stacking a building, building a building. Well, he also had to code something in XML and do some fancy dancing to communicate what you guys, it's like you're painting a canvas, right, which is going to be your silo, and Matt had to generate a special code to output it as an XML to be able to talk to other machines in the universe on the web. Okay, and what kind of machines? Guy asks a great question. Well, any machine that accepts an RSS feed is a female end. Can I give you guys an example of a type of technology that will receive an XML feed? That would be OnlyWire. I'm not telling you to use OnlyWire right now. I'm just trying to give you an example. If you go to OnlyWire, what's that?
DWS Silo Builder.
Well, no, DWS Silo Builder generates an XML feed.
No, but when it builds it in WordPress, it actually hoovers it in.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
You're right, Matt.
so,
I was trying to give them
yeah.
another. That's even a better example. Our Silo plugin, in order for the WordPress plugin to work properly, we have to somehow remember what Matt's software is telling us to put in the blog, right? Everybody give me a 1 if you understand that. The plugin has to talk to DWS NE Silo Builder, and the language that's going to communicate is the XML. I know for some of you this is super basic, so I'm not trying to talk down. I'm just trying to slow down because I am getting a few people that this is kind of a new concept, and it's the coolest thing ever. XML is a universal translation that allows us to create scaffolding from one system to the other. A lot of the times application interfaces and API will, I'm sorry, Chris, what were you saying? No, it's not what? It's not too, okay, great. Just let me know. I thought maybe I was wrong about something. So I love XML. Matt's taught me a ton, in fact, a significant amount of what I know about XML, my other team members and software developers. So as long as you know that it's the ability of RSS feeds, when you think RSS feed, think, oh, okay, what they're really saying is it's XML. And the reason it's called RSS is because browsers like Mozilla and Chrome, when you see an RSS feed, if you go to yourblog.com, Matt, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should go to an example blog and show them /feed.
Okay, so let's do this one.
Yeah, I want to slow this way down because for some reason it really helps people understand the one feed system better. Because then when you're out there looking at, for example, you guys, the first thing that I look at when somebody sells me a traffic system or a social media system or backlinks or right? You guys get what I'm saying? The first thing I ask is, does it have a female end so that I can hands-free generate either backlinks on a WR2 or social bookmarks or so on and so forth. So here's a RSS feed from news.sasshairsalon.co.za, and Matt hasn't published a lot of stuff on this, but this is what it looks like. Another place you can go to is networkempire.com/blog/feed. Now, the main point that I want, okay, this is new to you, Chris. That's great. And this really should be like super salient on your mind. Like this is, just know what's going on in our minds like 90% of the day. It's like, where are our XML feeds right now, and how many millions of places are they publishing? Give me a 1 if everybody understood what I just said right there. Broadcasting is how many places have you stuck your XML? Okay, good. I think we're getting some people getting it. Furthermore, is furthermore a word? Oh, sorry, Matt. How about Network Empire /feed? I don't think blog is in there. I just invented a new word, furthermore, that I'm going to put in the wiki, just so you guys know. Okay. Yeah, we've got a problem with, we've actually got a problem with this particular feed. So we're actually, one of the things here it is, okay. So you can see that this is the XML feed. What I'm looking at here is all the past posts that we have added. You can see the last one was the webinar replay for Kraken. Okay, well this feed goes into a bunch of places, which is actually on the chart that Matt showed you, the basic level one, this lucid chart that we're creating for you. This is your first step into generating RSS feed. To make matters weirder, and probably the biggest confusion that Matt and I are constantly trying to clear up, is that you can stick your XML feed into places that are good for the machine world, like the spiders and the bots. In fact, WordPress does this for you automatically. If you go inside of WordPress, I think Matt maybe even had it open, and you go under General, under Settings, they're already doing this for you partially. And this is really what makes WordPress WordPress. Okay, what makes WordPress WordPress is if you scroll down there. Actually, that's the wrong location. I'm sorry. I think Isn't it under General Settings XML? Anybody know where that is? Oh yeah, thank you, Bradley. Bradley's awesome. He's like Settling's writings dummy. Okay, yeah, it's under writing. Duh. Because think about why it's under writing, right? Bradley got that. Because we're writing to the web. So if you go down at the bottom, you're going to see the XML RCP. Okay, updated services. And WordPress already talks. That's okay. That's okay. But you can leave that that page up. My point that I want you guys to know, or to keep it super basic, is that yeah, it's the ping list, Bradley, but it's also ping list doesn't mean anything to anyone. I want you guys to understand that that's XML. Give me a 1 if you understand that what WordPress is, to make matters more confusing and cooler, is that what WordPress is already doing for you is using XML. And when they're pinging, meaning they're letting several services that for whatever reason these services came to exist and thought they could make money by setting up their servers to receive thousands and millions of blogs and letting the world know every time all those blogs published a post. Everybody understand that? Okay. Tony? Is it Tony or Tony? Is it Tony Peterson? Tony? Okay. Well, you spelled it the same, so that doesn't help me enunciate. Is that, Matt, do I pronounce it Tony or Tony?
I've been calling him Tony, so he's Tony for the course.
Okay. All right, Tony. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Guys, there are no dupe content issues. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to hear you mention dupe content anymore in the Tech Foundation training courses. Okay? Give me a 1 if you understand what I said. It's bullshit. Everybody write bullshit. 100% bullshit. I want you to type it out. Thank you. Bradley, everyone please. Or BS. BS if you're offended. Laura, good girl. Okay, guys, it's bullshit. There is no dupe content penalties anywhere. There's dupe content penalties only for stuff on your own site. I have never seen any dupe content penalties that matter off-site. Okay? So what I'm really trying to say is that if you live your life concerned about dupe content, you're really missing the opportunity. And I'm talking about content from your WR1. Steal this feed, steal this video, please steal my content. Okay, now what happens is when people steal your content and they don't give you a link back to your site, they're only hurting themselves, in the sense that if you're going to publish other people's content on your site, that content's going to be less unique, but I wouldn't call it duplicate. Okay? In other words, think about this, you guys. If you're an authority site, Matt, go back to your one feed setup area. I think they get the XML more or less. If you're an authority site with domain authority of 90, do you think Google is giving you a dupe content penalty for stealing every one of our RSS feeds and publishing it as a category on their own site? Give me a 1 if you think Google is going to penalize that high domain authority, and a 2 if you think Google will not. Thank you. Lots of 2s. Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there such thing as dupe content? 1 if yes, 2 if no. Thank you. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so let's talk about, okay, what is dupe content? Dupe content comes up a lot when you have the duplicate content on your same site. Okay, you'll see a lot of the penalization happening on site. But the return on investment that you lose by being wrapped around the axle about dupe content will cost you your business. Give me a 1 if you understand that, and a 2 if you think I'm full of shit. That's okay. You can tell me. You guys are awesome. I don't care, because I will prove to you that I'm not. It's okay. So good. Everyone understands. Now that we've exercised that demon, we can talk. Yeah, I will, AJ. I'll talk a lot more. Now, I am not talking about backlink spam. Okay. So the real question that some of you might be asking, not about dupe content, is backlink spam. Is it possible to create a bunch of BS backlinks to your site through XML and get yourself penalized? Not so much if you're creating authority content and if you're stacking what we call domain authority. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you guys a huge giveaway. We're going to be releasing this in level 2 or 3 of the upcoming foundation courses, separate than this one. which covers backlinking. Backlinking is such a huge topic that we can only get in it to the level of the one feed in the Tech Foundation. Otherwise, Matt would go mad trying to get into all the levels of this stuff with you. Okay, so domain authority stacking. Here it is. If you're using things like backlink spam generators, if you're using stuff like Magic Submitter, if you're using stuff like GSA, and you're not a super brain, crazy madman scientist like Matt or like Jimmy Kelley, or, well, like myself, you're going to get yourself penalized, no question asked, because you're not or Daniel. Daniel is a genius. He would like me to let all of you know that he's a mad scientist, crazy super genius. Okay. Daniel's awesome. Truly, he is a very smart guy. One of the things, what we're looking at is you can definitely get yourself penalized. Okay, and there's all kinds of penalties, and we're not going to get into it in this course. That's for Jimmy, when Jimmy comes on as a guest in level 2. Okay, this is level 1. And the main thing that we have found is that it is really, really, really hard. It's really easy to get yourself penalized. That is a site that's your money site with these backlink systems when you're automating them, and it doesn't matter if you're automating them with XML backlinks or if you're automating them with just spam links and, you know, like GSA, using huge amounts of IP addresses and scrubbed lists and this and that. You can still easily get an important site of yours penalized. Of course, you can buffer it with a subdomain and do your testing on a subdomain. And when the subdomain is penalized, then your main domain still sticks around. How many of you knew that, at least right now, that a subdomain protects your primary domain, even if you spam the hell out of it? Give me one if you knew that. Okay. But, you know, unless you're Daniel, don't experiment with stuff like that. Okay? Only Daniel, super evil, villainous, super genius, can do stuff like that. Everybody else, please be really, really careful. Okay? Because you don't want to mess around with that, because as Sue has said, you can change that in an instant. But what we did discover in one test is that your social signals, this is why Matt's got all this set up here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter feed, Facebook, LinkedIn, just level 1 only wire. If I were to fire, we've got 3 servers running full time with backlink systems, okay, you guys? Full on, full time. Between Matt and Jimmy and the rest of our team members, we got crazy shit going on. All right? I really am saying shit a lot today. I'm so sorry. I was up really, really late. And I had 3 espressos. Okay, so the main thing, guys, is that Jimmy has yet been unable, in an experiment that we have running right now, to get a YouTube video de-indexed through backlinking with full-on GSA running over 1.9 million backlinks to it. Give me a 1 if you understand what I just said. And give me a double 1 if you're just like, holy smokes, because that's what I am right now. Okay, this is the kind of cool stuff that I really want to share with you guys, because, yeah, isn't that crazy, Chris? What that's really saying is, like, just all stop for a second and think about how this ties into the one feed that Matt and I are showing you how to build today. When Jimmy came on board as part of our team and staff, he was pretty blown away by the one feed system that Sue and Matt and I had set up, because yes, Michael, it most definitely boosts the video like ridiculously. That's why all these softwares you see is coming out with associations from Becker and all those guys that do backlinks. And video is the new holy grail. Why? Well, here's why. It's Google's holy grail. You have engagement and 100% benefit. Where you have engagement, you have the new form of currency on planet Earth. Give me a 1 if you understand what I just said, and a 2 if you don't. Where you have magnetic eyeballs facing something, you've got human beings' souls trapped in a box. When you said that, guys, like, make no bones about it, okay? With that said, this is where it comes to, if an automatic generated site, like a PinVid, I don't know, Russell Wright's automatic PinVid system, I don't know, is automatically generating tens of thousands of pages out there with YouTube videos on them, okay? If an automatically generated video page has an average visit of 10 to 25 minutes out on the web, but it was automatically generated, is that page still spam, according to Google? Isn't that weird? Everybody's giving me a no. But wait a second, like I'll stop for a second. Let's look at the contradiction. Let's zoom right in. Let's not slide over this, you guys. From all intents and purposes, from an SEO, from a traditional SEO perspective, from a backlink perspective, that page should be considered spam. Okay? Spam in the sense of, yeah, exactly. Guy Porter is saying time on site. But it's not, because YouTube is a wild card. Think about why. Can Google insert their ads on these YouTube videos?
Of course.
Yeah. Can they infuse these spam pages no matter where they are, far and wide on the web, whether they're 100% automated or partially automated, to increase their ad revenue? If every spammer in the universe is out there putting YouTube videos out there that have banners on them, is it just like becoming a publisher for Google even without permission? Yeah, it's actually the most amazing business model and kind of infusion black hole for consciousness in the history of planet Earth. You guys understand what's happening here? Give me a 1. Yeah, okay, you do. Believe me, consciousness is all a part of this, guys. When you have eyeballs and attention, you have the new form of currency, which will become the new foundation for a global micro-banking system. We're right in the middle of it. Yeah, we are creating the matrix, guy. That's exactly right. Yeah, but you guys know this, okay? So let's look right at what this is. If attention, according to Alexander Bard from the Future Eureka trilogy, is the new currency, then what does this mean for the one-feed setup? Let's back down to planet Earth. Ready? Okay, you see how we've connected all these really abstract concepts right down here to what we're doing next? The one-feed system involves YouTube. So starting with your WR1, okay, you're going to want to put videos, especially your own videos, on your channel, and you're going to want to take that feed, and that feed is going to submit. Okay, that feed is going, you can take that, YouTube happens to, out of the goodness of their heart, give you an RSS feed. It's gdata.youtube.com. Matt's pointing right to it. Okay, and when you take that, that's yet another RSS feed that can be stuffed into all of the various locations that you could publish. Okay. Now, what we're doing here is we're blending this all together in a one-feed system so that when that new XML file is created and integrating everything, we have discovered that XML feeds that have videos on them do better when you go to your Google Analytics file. Okay? Because when you take a one-feed system and you run it through, it'll actually appear as a campaign if you set it up properly. And when you go to your Google Analytics file, you'll see people coming right into the RSS feed. Here's a little secret that we discovered based on why YouTube is so important. For some reason, all these automated people out there and crazy programmers and developers from places like Network Empire and ThemeZoom love to steal people's YouTube RSS feeds. Why is that? Because of what we just discussed, right? So steal this feed, because what can you do with RSS feeds? People that are really high-end can take YouTube RSS feeds and build an entire site out of it instantly. I know I do, like every day, right? Think about what happens there. Then what you're doing is you're just creating semantically relevant content with those RSS feeds. So I'm explaining to you the reason why we mix these feeds together, including a YouTube video channel, especially your WR1. So Matt, let's go over to u-everywhere.com and just have that open for everybody. The whole purpose that I have is to serve you guys, to make sure over the next year that you are owning your market space. That's my goal for you. I don't care if it takes the next month. I don't care if it takes the next year. The point is that we're here to help you for the duration. Okay? What Matt has been teaching you to build is the WR1. This is level 1 training. And the other levels we have coming out, it's going to take us all the way out. But the one feed is the beginning, because in that WR1, you're going to, that WR1 pink area, the one feed is going to help you in step 1 publish to the WRS1 yellow area, both for the human world, in other words, automatically in places where there are supposed to be humans, like a Twitter or a Pinterest. There's a lot of human eyeballs on there, while simultaneously publishing to the machine world in the same action. Give me a 1 if you understand what I just said. That's the hardest part to understand. I want you guys to slap me if I don't communicate this to you. This is where I need help. The one feed diagram on the previous page is going to auto-post your blog post with no fear of backlink spam, because you own the WRS1 social platforms that it's publishing to, which are going to be seen by human eyes while simultaneously publishing those XMLs to the RCP XML, to the search engine. We're going to submit to RSS submit software. This is what we do automatically. So in the same fell swoop, the same single setup, back to that diagram map that you created, when you set this up properly for phase 1, the machine world and the human world in your WRS1 layer of the empire will be, every time you broadcast -- post a blog post, will be updating all those areas at once. Safely,
instantly,
sustainably, hands-free. Then the next level, the advanced level, will be publishing to 500 places at once. The next level will be publishing to 5,000 places at once. Am I yelling? I probably am. Too much coffee. Give me a 1 if you understand what I'm saying, a 2 if I'm completely obfuscated this, because I don't want this hidden in any way.
That's why, guys, you must get your blogs up so you can start communicating.
And, you know, Guy, when you and I consulted privately and talked privately, you're awesome at understanding broadcasting. In fact, several of you are in here. You know you got to get it out there and get that post, and you're already doing 2 posts a week, so you're kind of already on that post. I think what people do have the challenge with is, I think it's paralysis analysis. Yeah, Guy, you do have a big mouth. That's awesome, dude. It's perfect. Anybody who can publish, and if you don't, then you can hire someone else, or you could even borrow content. So there's methods for all of you. You don't have to be a salesman or even a communicator like Guy is, like myself. You know, some of you are not. But I think where the paralysis analysis might happen is on your permanent silo architecture, your brochure site. That is the sites that you're ranking, the pages that don't change that much. You've got to get that up as well. And when Matt is talking about theme mirroring, he's talking about the broadcasting machine gun platform that you're going to publish every day, once a week, once a month, whatever it is that you can do, okay? And all of that's going to mirror and drive traffic to your clothes, to your pages, to your information. People are going to come in off the search engines, but your blog post is also providing that rapid fire, that rapid fire content going out to your list that gets emailed out as well. Sometimes you can, an Aweber, I will automate some of my blog to a list that sends out the RSS feed. I actually use an RSS feed in Aweber, so that every Tuesday, anything that I published for that week on Network Empire News goes out to a list of about 10,000 people. Guys, you already know what an XML feed is. Well, guess what? Even my emailing autoresponder prefers that I use an XML feed from my blog. It just allows me to set the time to publish. And then on my left giant monitor right here, which is about 75 inches, I have 2 giant 75-inch monitors here in the lab where we're watching the traffic all the time. On the left side right here, I can see 90 visitors on one of my sites, and all of these have come from RSS, okay? Or they're sitting on a page from an email broadcast that was set out. It's very funny, on Tuesday when my blog broadcast goes to Aweber, you can see all the people sitting on that particular blog article, okay? I could just see it in real time. I watch it like a stockbroker watches this. I watch traffic all day long when I'm sitting here. Anyways, so hopefully you guys get an understanding of that. I see people come in real time on my main WR1 sites from Twitter, from Facebook. You can see them hit your site. And all of those are automatic, and it usually happens right after a blog post. You see what I'm saying? So now I would like to open this up for questions because I think I've blathered on long enough. And it's really something I want you to understand and get past your analysis paralysis phase. And I know some of you are, go ahead, Matt.
I just wanted to say something here, just in conjunction with what you're saying. From the technical perspective, guys, when you set this one feed up, essentially what you're doing is you're saving yourself hundreds of hours of labor throughout the year. And if you put a value on that actual amount of time you'd spend if you did a sneaker to each of these other places, you'd be very inefficient. So essentially what this technical design does is it takes the feed. So as you write your blog post and you press submit, it runs out and goes through your whole entire network, right? And that's just through taking one RSS feed.
That's
Okay?
right. Yeah. And also in addition to that, and Matt hasn't got too much into this, but as you know, we're launching something that's going to replace OnlyWire on this diagram. And please be advised that OnlyWire is an option. We've just added this because we wanted you to be aware that there are other services that have RSS feeds in that have a female end, a receptive end, that allow you to auto-post right through them and publish to, in the case of OnlyWire, it's 47 different services. I set those 47 different services up with soft touch. I have an outsourcing agent that puts real photographs on those and real people. You could even, if you want to use them as WR1, those OnlyWire accounts should be your real organization's accounts. Okay. On the WR2 and WR3 layers, we show you ways to use OnlyWire and other services like OnlyWire that do that. And yes, there are people that say that OnlyWire is spam backlinking. The only definition of spam for me is if there are not real followers in those accounts. We put actual real human followers in those accounts, and that's the difference. Also, we're teaching people to keep them surgically targeted to the industry that you're in, and we have ways that we do it. Here's the good news, you guys. The service that we're launching that's going to replace OnlyWire is something called WPSocialExplosion.com. We're in the preliminary early phases of launch. The server is set up. It's actually pretty much getting hammered with traffic right now. We have thousands upon thousands of associates and individuals who are part of our team that have their own accounts, that some of them are willing to share or tweet your stuff through those accounts. Everybody wins when we do that. Okay? So we have these, and we're setting that up, and it's going to be a blog-based plugin. It's set up very carefully to understand the one-feed system. It's also set up very carefully to understand what we call the shredder system, which is why a blog post that has content should, several sentences from your blog post should be tweeted out through the one feed to your system. So please stay tuned over the next few days, for the release of the WP Social Explosion software that we've been writing for the last 9 months. I'm very, very excited about that. I'd like to open it up to questions now. Give me a 1 if people feel perfectly clear, and give me a 2 if you have more questions. And please ask your question here. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about the one feed system. I want to make sure you guys have a journal. It looks like everybody understands, though. That's fascinating.
There's another feed, guys, that comes out of DWS that's not spoken about much, which comes out of the promotion engine. And we're busy revamping that as well. So you have a secondary feed that goes to all your promotional articles.
Yeah. Daniel,
other places.
Daniel, currently this is the setup process. Matt, have you made a video inside the members area of how to do this?
Yes.
If not,
when you go to week 6, you'll see setting up Twitter feed. You'll see Yahoo Pipes.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of videos here. Daniel,
there's the one feed.
Daniel, can you do me a favor? Because you're such a badass and you always give me crap on Skype. Can you let me know? I need to make sure, because Matt is super busy developing other things. I want this to be like absolutely clear. So you guys, in fact, any of you can do that. Let me know, because I will add videos until every last thing is understood. Okay? So you guys just let me know, because the next batch of folks that come through will have even fewer questions than you, and you guys are really amazing, and you'll get all the benefits from all these amazing things coming out. So Guy is saying, if it fits, can you show a silo from the Kraken output that Matt had earlier about tree trimming? Okay, is everybody ready for me to move on from the one feed thing then? Looks like Bradley is trying to show the results he has using the one feed system. Bradley, before we open it, is it good or bad? Because we only want to put good stuff up for marketing purposes. Oh, he says it's awesome. That'd be awesome, Matt. Let's open it up and let's see what an introductory person has done. It's actually in hopefully it's not porn or something.
The finger.
That would suck. We almost never do anything live. Oh, finally we got Carolyn's attention. It's the only time she said something was when I said the word porn. Okay. Okay, so you started to do some great stuff. What are those numbers for there? That sucks. I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. Fourth, shame on you. No, this looks great. Okay, so you have some long tails that are rolling. Good for you, and thank you so much, Bradley, for sharing that. I was just messing with you on those ranking 4 positions. We'll know you'll get this. I'm really impressed, and this is how it starts. It's a good start, and the idea is to get you guys ranked for hundreds of keywords. And the one feed definitely has that cumulative domain authority effect, and that's the main thing that you'll kind of start seeing when you start looking at the web analytics with your rankings. It gets really, really interesting. Our results on Social Explosion are even crazier because, honestly, OnlyWire is really expensive. And although we do have monthly recurring fees for the Social Explosion, we've made sure to seriously undercut the cost. When I actually started looking at, how many of you are familiar with the automatic pin vid system that I created? That's actually another course. Give me a 1 if you're familiar with it. Yeah, that stuff can be kind of expensive. Like, I used up my $2,000 OnlyWire tokens in like 3 days, like with 3 of my pin vid sites, because I forgot to turn them off. And that's okay. I mean, they got a lot of backlinks, and the returns are diminishing, over time. But you just keep working with them, and at a certain point, they really have a strong effect. The Social Explosion plugin is not going to have that cost to it, and it's not going to be the same diminishing effect because of the way we do things quite a bit better. So I'm really, really, really excited about that because I'm just sick of using OnlyWire, to be honest. It's really expensive for the WR2 pin vid sites, but OnlyWire is very cost effective. I would only recommend, guys, OnlyWire and other services like that for your WR1 stuff that Matt's showing you now, because it can get pretty costly if you're seriously auto-publishing things on your secondary network level. I just thought I'd throw that in, okay? So thank you again, Bradley. Let's go back to Guy's question, Matt. He wants to roll back and look at some of that silo stuff.
Right. Yeah, so basically what we've done here is we did this drill for Bradley, seeing as we're speaking about Bradley's projects today. And the primary keyword that Bradley gave us was for tree service. And then the given keywords that he gave us was basically tree removal and tree trimming. So what this report basically does is it just looks at everything we've drilled in Kraken, and it gives us a top-level overview, so we can actually see a snapshot of everything that's lying under the hood of Kraken. And essentially, this is the silo level, tree service, because that's the keyword we're going to target. But within tree service, we found categories which were tree service, tree trimming, lawn care services, lawn services, tree removal cost, tree spout funny, fruit trees, and lawn services. And when we look at that story and what it's actually telling us is typically that people look for tree services are interested in those other topics as well. Okay? Market category silo and or theme silo. Right. What I've done over here is I'm just telling you the size of the market, so we know whether it's a phrase, whether it's a niche, whether it's a segment or a theme or a micro niche, because we never know whatever keyword we start with, what the actual market size is. So when we got a market category, the market category can get broken down into market segments. So you can see the market segments here.
And guys, make sure the language that Matt is using here came from Kraken, Guy. When you log into Kraken on the main screen where all those bubbles connect the words and it shows the relationship of one mountain peak to another mountain peak in your pile of money keywords, which is really what Kraken does. The thing that makes Kraken distinct is 10 million competing pages plus is actually a market segment. And then there's a market category that's greater than that. So what this is leftover verbiage from the Kraken software, folks, and if you haven't used Kraken, you might not be familiar with it. Whereas theme is like 5 million, I think. I have these written somewhere. And niche is like less than 100, so we have these all, good. So, that's where Matt is getting this verbiage. It all comes from the Kraken segmentation, more or less, with a few tweaks here and there.
Yeah. So remember what this is. This is the done for you drill, right? So we've gone into your Kraken account and we've actually drilled out all your keywords. Okay. So once we've drilled out all your keywords, what we're doing here is we're just giving you a top-level summary. So tree service is a market category. It's fairly big, okay? Within that category, we have all these different types of keywords, which are segments, themes, categories. So what this does is it gives us the important active themes, conversations, and topics online, stacked by the root keyword, and then breaking it out and down into the actual segmentation. So from a glance, we can actually look at tree service, and we can look at all the categories underneath it, and we can see what is relevant to what we're selling. So in Bradley's case, fruit trees might not be relevant, but it is a conversation that is associated with tree services.
Right, and you can see why Matt has got these on here. Hopefully you can also see why it's so important that week 2 we cover the what the heck, week 1 we cover what the heck are you selling, week 2 we cover what are the pains in the market. Because you guys and gals, you still need to analyze the technical keyword relationships even if they're not relevant to you, because you can just vote them off the island later on. And if I'm a tree service, fruit trees, for the technical aspects of the site, it's still important to know that it's part of the conversation. It may not be used again, but it does come up later. And I want to express something to you guys here. We have a system called the Empire Keyword Extraction System. Okay, and later on, if you're building serious empires, the fact that fruit trees is related to this is a big deal, because there will be a site either on the WR2 or the WR3 level that covers fruit trees regardless. Because when you're swallowing your market, when you're swallowing your market whole, you just take every possible tangent semantic thing, and even if it's an automatic video site or something out there in the outer ring, you're still going to be pulling people in based on those tangent themes. And we'll talk more about that in the more advanced sections, because when we say swallow your market whole, I know you guys think I'm a marketer schmarketer and all that, and I'm just making stuff up. We're dead serious, okay? We are not. The you everywhere graph that Matt has up there, we actually build that. Matt designed these systems to swallow these keywords whole. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to cover them on your WR1, but later on, when we get to the level 2 and level 3 and level 4 courses, some of you will go that far with us. We're going to be showing you that will definitely be a part of your empire. Now, for a local site, it's probably a little bit overkill to try to, crush every single tree on the market, all right? But for major competitive terms and major sites for major companies, like some of the companies that pay us anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 a month, which we have on our consulting side, they definitely need this stuff, okay? Give me a 1 if you understand what I'm driving at. It all depends on scale, doesn't it? Great, Laura. I'm glad to hear you get that. Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah, guys, check here. What Kraken gives us is the current important active themes, conversations, and topics online at the point of drill, okay? So when it goes and analyzes and pulls all that information back, so it ranks and filters, and it goes through 200, 300,000 keywords within that 15-minute drill period, the results that it brings back gives us the most important stuff up front, bang. So what we've done is, once we've done the drill for you to show you how to stack the information so you can get a clear idea of all the conversations going in that marketplace, then what we're doing here is we're extracting the ones that are most important to lower down the information, to make it a bit more palatable for you to actually say, okay, cool, I'm in the tree service. I never knew that lawn services were highly irrelevant. I know that my friend down the road, he cuts the grass. Let's do a joint venture and share the traffic. And if I get leads for lawn services, I'll bring him in, and basically he subcontracts that, and I'll make a cut off whatever the job costs. So my process is a place for everything.
Also, Matt, I wanted to point out that a lot of what you taught in the Local Leads Empire course deals with the smaller lead aggregation stuff too, which I thought was excellent. I thought about it when looking at tree service as a local business.
Yeah, it gives you, and what's great about this is it really shows you the true power of what Kraken gives you, because Kraken's the market analysis tool. So when I did this report for you guys, this is brand new. It's like hot off the press. I've spent the last 3-4 weeks really perfecting this, so we could make it as simple as possible for you guys to come in, see what's in Kraken, look at the conversations, decide, okay, cool, I want to look at lawn service, I want to look at lawn care, I want to look at lawn care services. And looking at the entire data set, we can see what words are used the most in this whole array of keywords that we've analyzed. And we can see tree trimming, tree removal services, lawn care services, tree care, and davy tree are the words that this market typically uses the most when they type those things into the web. We can see the synonyms for pain finder. What are the top synonyms that are coming back? How many times they're mentioned throughout the whole data set? So some interesting little stats there. But what's nice about this is as you go through this, you can look at tree removal, and you can see that junk removal comes into tree removal story, but junk removal is also shared with car junk and with virus and malware. So there's a tangent over here, but it's split three ways with three different ideas and conversations. And it helps you really get a good feel for what is going on online in a glance, basically. That's why I made this report.
And polysims, which Matt is looking at right there, that's polysemic relationships between one market and another. It becomes very clear both in Kraken and the last keyword tool when a pile of keywords and all the money associated with it are related. And sometimes it's kind of weird, like junk removal. The mountain peak for junk removal is really close to the mountain peak for virus removal. But this is language, and this is very technical. When it comes to making your site, obviously, you've already gone through the painkiller method. You've already gone through the what the heck are you selling. So those things can be very carefully removed or put in another bucket or whatever. But it's still important for the market researcher, especially when studying verticals, to understand the technical relationship of these concepts. Okay, I think we've done really well today. We've covered a lot, and we actually had some light bulb moments again with you guys go off that we haven't had go off in previous events. I would like to ask, thanks Carolyn, you rock too.
Yes.
I would like to ask each one of you on this call to be radically honest with me. I'm going to go ahead and try something here. And I need you to be honest because that's how we improve the course. I want to make sure that when you walk away from this 8-week training, because we have our final one coming up, you know, I got to say Matt just really busts his ass to make sure that all this stuff works. I mean, he works harder than any of us in getting this thing happening, and I'm really grateful that he has that work. And that being said, we realize that this is a lot of information, and no one person can answer it all. Sue and I are trying to help get things situated while we're building level 2, 3, and 4 and getting prepared for the live certification event. So, oh, great, Adam, and you were saying that this one feed was always a little fuzzy to you, and now it's no longer fuzzy. That means that Matt and I can take a lot of the information from this webinar today and put it into permanent content for week 7, which is what I'm definitely going to do. Let me ask you guys this. On a scale of 1 to 10, so far, if you felt like you could walk away and recommend this course, especially with the upcoming changes and everything that you've seen, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would be radically honest with me, what would be your recommendation for walking away with insight that you loved the course and that you would recommend it to others on a scale of 1 to 10? Excellent, Guy. I got you on that. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let all of you know what the results were. And again, I asked you to be honest, and you were. And okay, good, Brian, that's good. All right, cool. So what we're looking at is we're getting mostly 9s and 10s. They're high ratings. There are a few 6 or 7s on the ability of each of you individually to, there are 2 actually, 6 or 7s on the ability to execute the actual steps. I consider that minor, but I also consider it something that we're going to come back around and doubly make sure on you 2 individuals, both of you who answered that are fairly new online. I'm not actually sloughing it off to you. That's our responsibility. So I want to make sure that that happens. 90% of these are 9s and 10s. I do appreciate that, and it's important for me, for even though you guys who gave really high ratings, Matt and I are working really, really hard to make this so incredibly good that it's practically spitting out money for you. So make sure that you keep a list of the things that you would like to see improved so that we can constantly iterate that. With that, Matt, I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah, there's just one more thing I wanted to show the guys,
Okay,
which will take
excellent.
2 seconds.
Okay.
If they can just take a mental picture of this.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, the process is basically simple. We've got stage 1, what am I selling? Stage 2, map pain solutions to the pain. Step 3 is our themes, our keywords, our competitors. This is the market analysis we're looking at over here. Step 4 is what we did, the IT build last week. Step 5 is designing the silo framework. This is where we look at these themes and stuff we've discovered in Kraken and we actually decided, okay, we're going to speak about these conversations. We're about the solid structure around that. That solid structure we actually create is then mirrors into our blog, which then reflects through the RSS feed, the one feed out, what are the conversations we're going to actually broadcast when we promote and syndicate and broadcast across the web. What happens then is, as it gets published and pushed and promoted in 6 and 7, in stage 8, when we get to rankings and analytics, which is we're going to speak about it next week, that's when basically we can see the feedback loop coming back from every promotion that we're doing. Okay, so when we're broadcasting out, we get the feedback loop in the end, okay, and we come back to the top of the story again, the stage. What am I selling? Have I mapped out all the pains? What other keywords can I use? And you just run through the same process again. So the structure and the development of this actual framework that we designed for you guys is a simple 8-step process that at each key point, if you stack the right keywords, the right conversation, and you get the congruency, when you get to your one feed, when you start talking about that stuff, it's all going to be connected, it's all going to be synonymic, and it's all going to be relevant, and your whole network becomes a huge sales funnel. It becomes a network funnel. So remember, that's the bigger picture. When you look at the rings that we were showing over here, this is a huge network of connected, relevant information that spirals all the way down to your WR1. But you've got to build it from the WR1 out, all the way around like that, to make it work successfully. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Do you guys get that whole concept? Is it all starting to come together for you? Why it's so important from the beginning to stack the information right, to stack the story, to get the index and the flow right? Because when you get to your blog and you start promoting, you're mirroring your primary site.
Yep, they're really
those primary themes you're mirroring.
Yeah, they're really getting it
all the way through till the end.
Yeah, Matt, they're really getting it. Michael, I would like to be clear for you about the video. So why don't you give me a Skype ping? I want to make sure. Are you talking about the steps for the one feed, or are you talking about the steps for the entire course in general? The other thing is, John Ward, I appreciate your comment. In terms of the execution, yes, I'm aware that some of you are actually still have jobs and these types of things where you're very ambitious and you're doing all this while you're doing other things. Okay, so there's that. And yeah, Michael, as you can see, we're revamping, and yes, every single step should have the corresponding video made clear for you, and I really appreciate that feedback. We'll go ahead and we're adding step-by-step videos each time. And by this time next week, you should see a significant addition of videos, including Matt and Sue and I over the next couple of months are working on a new site example besides just the hair salon example, so I'm very, very excited about that. So you'll see continual results with more and more step-by-steps as we get through this. And Michael, your feedback is always appreciated, and I thank you very much for that.
If you guys haven't spoken to me yet, just ping me on Skype so we can get some time booked in so I can get your Kraken drills done for you if you've not got them done yet. Just ping me on jbay-mdc. I'll put it in the chat window so you guys can all see that again. This is the Skype you can get me on.
Is there anybody, could you guys give me a 2 if you have not gotten your keywords yet? Matt's been drilling a ton, so I want to make sure. We'll go ahead and take that list now. Okay. Doesn't look like a lot. It looks like, okay, cool. So I think he's aware of you. Yeah, okay, good. Some of you decided to drill your own rather than make Matt do it. Okay, that's ambitious. Good for you. If you have any questions on that, don't hesitate to ask him or myself about that as well. Because what Matt does is he codes with his left hand and follows up and provides service on his right hand. Okay, sounds good. All right, you guys. Matt, this has been great, like really positive feedback and really productive feedback for some minor things. So I think we're ready to end this webinar. I feel really, really pleased. I think the one feed webinar, we really knocked it out of the park this time, didn't we? So
yeah, it was much more fun.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. All right, you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever it is you are in the world. I hope it's not so cold. I know some of you we're facing the freeze-apocalypse from the East Coast here and other things. I hope that you all stay toasty warm and take care of yourself, and don't forget to keep your health intact while you're a geek. Always take time. Michael is saying it's 80 degrees here. Awesome, man. Always take time to exercise, drink water from the electrical, stuff happening in your computer. And, Matt takes regular walks on the beaches, to air out his head. I do the same thing. So make sure that you guys take care of yourself while you're building your empire. And this has been Russell Wright and Matt DeCruz from Network Empire. We really look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. And thank you so much for your help. Do not hesitate for even a second to chime into the Tech Foundation group or contact either one of us personally. We'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thank you, guys, and I'll speak to you soon, eh? Get your keywords to me so I can draw them out so you can have your blueprint as well.
Get us your keywords, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be